You are making a massive mistake every time you put groceries away, and the fix is a $1 item you are already staring at every single day. We've all been taught that once you buy a bag of spinach or a box of berries, the clock starts ticking. We think mold is just something that happens, and that fresh only lasts a few days before everything turns into a gross mess. But what if I told you that the way we store food is almost designed to make it rot faster?
The cheap trick pro chefs use. There is one simple cheap trick used by pro chefs that can dramatically extend how long your food stays fresh, sometimes even doubling it. It costs less than $1, it takes 4 seconds to do, and it's going to save you a lot of money every single year. Most people see this item every day but use it the wrong way. If you want to stop wasting money and learn how to keep your kitchen fresh, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You're about to see your fridge in a whole new way. Why your food turns to slime. Most people think the fridge is a safe place where food stays fresh. It's actually a pretty harsh environment. Right now, inside your vegetable drawer, there's a quiet problem growing. It's a mix of too much water and trapped air. And right now, you're losing the battle. You've had that feeling before, right? You reach for the strawberries you bought 2 days ago, only to find white fuzz on them, or that lettuce that turned into green slime. It feels like bad luck. You think, that's just what happens to food. But here's the weird part, it's not. There's a reason restaurants can keep vegetables perfect for weeks while yours die in days. Before I show you the exact steps, you need to know what the real killer is. The problem with grocery store bags. Think about your last trip to the store. You spent $100 or $200. You picked the best looking fruit. 5 days later, the herbs are brown and the peppers are soft. Studies show that the average family throws away almost 30% of the food they buy. This is where it gets interesting. Grocery store packaging is designed for transport and display, not for keeping food fresh in your fridge for days. They spray water to keep produce looking fresh, but if that moisture gets trapped later, it can speed up spoilage. They want you to keep everything in the plastic bags they give you. But those bags are the problem. Most people don't realize this, but your fridge actually dries things out. To stop that, we keep food in plastic. But that traps moisture against the food, and that is what kills it. How your fridge actually works. You might be wondering, why does the fridge dry things out in the first place? It comes down to how cold air works. Cold air cannot hold as much moisture as warm air. When your fridge cycles cold air, it lowers humidity. Over time, that can pull moisture out of your food, unless it's stored the right way. This is a basic rule of temperature. To fight back, the fridge makers gave us the crisper drawer. But the drawer isn't magic, it just tries to block some of that cold, dry air. Because we stuff the drawer full of tight plastic bags, the air can't flow right. The moisture gets trapped, turns into water drops, and sits right on the leaves of your food. That thin layer of trapped moisture is exactly what mold needs to start growing. So, in a weird way, the machine was built to save your food, can actually set the perfect conditions for it to spoil. The invisible gas that rots your fruit. To understand the $1 trick, you have to know about a gas called ethylene. Ethylene is an invisible gas that plants give off. It's a natural gas that speeds up ripening, and once fruit overripens, spoilage quickly follows. When you put your groceries in those plastic bags, you're trapping that gas inside. So when you combine all of this, you get the worst possible setup. 1. Trapped water. This lets bacteria grow. 2. Trapped gas. This makes the food age faster. The secret isn't some expensive container or high-tech hack. It's something you already have and probably ignore every day, a simple paper towel. But you have to follow a specific set of steps to make it work. And this is where almost everyone gets it wrong. How to use the paper towel trick, step by step. Here is exactly how to do the $1 trick. Some chefs call this a dry lining method because you're controlling moisture inside the container, and there are 4 simple steps you need to follow the moment you get home from the store. This isn't a random hack. Chefs and food experts use this exact method to control moisture and extend freshness. Step 1. Toss the plastic. Take your produce out of the grocery store packaging immediately. Those thin plastic bags and plastic boxes trap moisture and gas around your food, and that speeds up spoilage. Get them out of there. Step 2. Stay dry. Do not wash your food yet. I know it feels right to wash everything at once, but moisture is the enemy. Washing your berries or greens before you store them is like giving mold a head start. Only wash them right before you store them is like giving mold a head start. Step 3. Line the bottom. Grab a clean container glass works best, but a fresh, dry plastic bin is fine too. Place one dry paper towel at the very bottom. This acts as a sponge for any sweat the food creates. Step 4. Cover the top. Place your food on top of that first towel. Now, take a second paper towel and lay it right on top of the food before you close the lid. Why does this work? The bottom towel catches the water that sinks, and the top towel catches the water that rises. This creates a buffer that keeps the environment balanced, not too dry and not too wet. Strawberries. 5 days versus 14 days. Let's look at 2 batches of strawberries. Batch A goes into the fridge in the plastic box from the store. By day 5, there's mold. Batch B uses the 4-step method. You took them out of the box, kept them dry, and put them between 2 paper towels in a jar. On day 10, they are still firm. In some cases, they can still be fresh even after 10 to 14 days depending on how they're stored. They lasted a full week longer. This works for almost everything. For salad, put a paper towel inside the bag or bowl of leaves. It stops the slime. For celery, if you don't use paper towels, use aluminum foil. It lets the gas escape but keeps the moisture in. This is the crazy part. I tried this with a bag of salad. Usually, it's gross in 4 days. With the paper towel sandwich, it lasted way longer than usual, almost 2 weeks in my case, 19 days for the price of 2 paper towels. 3 more ways to save your groceries. Now that you know the steps, here are 3 more quick secrets. 1. Separate your onions. Never store onions and potatoes together. Onions give off a gas that makes potatoes sprout and rot. Keep them in different cupboards. 2. The vinegar bath. If you really want to wash berries early, mix 1 part vinegar with 10 parts water. It kills the mold bits. Just make sure to dry them completely with a paper towel afterward. 3. The banana shield. Wrap the top stem of the banana bunch in a little bit of plastic wrap. It stops the gas from coming out of the stem and keeps them yellow for a few extra days. Foods that hate the fridge. There is one last thing that most people get wrong. We think cold always means fresh. That's a mistake. Tomatoes lose all their flavor and get a weird texture in the fridge. Garlic starts to grow sprouts. And bread? The fridge actually makes bread dough stale 6 times faster because of the way the cold air affects the starch. The secret isn't just about how you store food, it's knowing what doesn't belong in the cold. Most store packaging isn't designed for long-term storage. It's designed to get food home safely. But now, you have a better way. That $1 roll of paper towels might be the simplest way to stop wasting hundreds of dollars in food every year. Try the 4-step method tonight. Take 1 bag of salad and put in the sandwich. See how long it lasts. Once you try this once, you'll never store food the same way again. And you'll have a lot more money in your pocket. Because the best way to save money isn't buying less, it's making sure nothing goes to waste.